Good afternoon, folks. Big Bo here with another great Class A motorhome value from Parkway RV Center. Folks, I'm going to try to breeze through the outside part of this video real quick because we've got some torrential storms on its way and it's going to hit any minute. Very fortunate to have this one, folks. 2006 Fleetwood Flare, model 34F. Get this, folks, 5,000 miles. This was a North Georgia motorhome. We bought it from the original owners. They had it sitting on a consignment lot. Of course, you never want to buy consignments, folks, because what people do is you get people who want retail for their units, and then the consignment dealer marks it up another $10,000 or $15,000 on top of that. Folks, this was, if you looked at this thing last week at a different lot, it was $65,000. Here it is. We own it. We bought it. You know, we operate off our own money, and that, of course, that's fortunate for you because that allows us to buy RVs instead of consigning them and able to sell them a lot cheaper. So we bought this one from the owners, 5,000 miles. They were just getting too elderly and the health was going down, so they weren't able to enjoy it, so they sold it to us. We've got it for $49.9 with a 90-day nationwide limited warranty and a major systems check by our certified RV techs, which, folks, 5,000 miles, and this is a true 5,000 mile coach. The interior, the exterior, it looks like a brand new motorhome, and it was $100,000 new, and here it is with 5,000 miles for half price. Doesn't get any better than that, folks. This is not an RV you're going to find at your neighborhood RV dealership. This is something that somebody's going to travel probably 2,000 or 3,000 miles to buy, because where else are you going to find a 5,000 mile motorhome for this price? It's a triple slide out, 5,500 Onan generator running right now, powering everything up inside. And we could have backed it up a little bit closer, but it was not touching. So, and now, folks, I know this is a 11-year-old motorhome, but I have found one imperfection in the entire motorhome, and that's just a little thing on the inside I'm going to show you. The outside, folks, I mean the striping, the finish, no delamination. Of course, this is built by Fleetwood, one of the oldest brands in the RV industry. Like I said, folks, half price with 5,000 miles. Makes you wonder why somebody would go spend $100,000 on one of these brand new when you can buy one like this for under 50 with 5,000 miles on it. In fact, folks, there's dealers right now with demos with over 5,000 miles. They're still selling as new for over $100,000. Good looking RV, folks. Like I said, the stripes, the finish, 5,500 Onan Marquee Gold, the stripes, the finish, everything is just as nice, crisp as I can honestly say. Condition wise, this is probably the lowest mileage and the nicest 2006 model of any brand on the market today. 5,000 miles, beautiful condition. They had a shed built for it so they could keep it under when they weren't using it. It's got the cargo bays that come out with the slide outs, and all of the slide outs have awning toppers. Folks, the NADA on this thing is several $1,000s more than I'm asking for it. And more importantly, it's only got 5,000 miles. Windshields are perfect. 34.5 feet long. We just average it to 35 on the windshield, but if you put a tape measure to it, it's 34.5 feet long. 34F, model number. Like I said, folks, I'll show you a couple things interior, but there's nothing really to complain about on it. Power steps work great. Got the big awning. Looks like new. And as we step inside, before this rain hits, and you might hear a downpour here any second. Folks, it's a used RV. I know that, and I know most of you know that, but 5,000 miles. Beautiful interior. Like I said, the only thing any imperfection I see is a chip right here on the little plate switch. That's it. And there's another switch like that in the back that's got a couple of chips missing out of it. Up here in the front, backup camera works, 5,253 miles. Could you imagine buying a $100,000 motorhome, using it for only 5,200 miles, and losing $50,000 on it? That's exactly what happened here. Like I said, this unit, if you looked at it a week ago at another dealership here in our area, this unit was $65,000. $49,900. Warranty, inspection included, no extra fees. CD stereo, dash air's cold, heated power mirrors. The seats look like what you would expect a 5,000 mile seat to look like. Double ducted airs, manual point satellite system. Dash looks perfect. I'm going to tell you, folks, it doesn't get much nicer than this in a used RV. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do my disclaimer, but believe me, folks, in my personal opinion, this motorhome does not need a disclaimer at all, because it's 5,000 miles and the condition it's in. But I'm going to tell you this disclaimer anyway, because and I know a lot of you don't like to hear it. So for those of you who've watched my videos before, they've heard this disclaimer. You can fast forward the next couple of minutes. For those of you who've never watched one of my videos or just started looking at used RVs, please listen to what I have to say carefully, because I don't want any misunderstandings. You know, we're a 49-year-old family-owned and operated dealership. We don't want any misunderstandings from anybody for any reason, so I do this disclaimer just to kind of clarify everything. But like I said, this motorhome really doesn't need it, but I'm going to tell you anyway. All right, folks, this is a 2006 model. It was new 11 years ago for $100,000. It will never be new again. This unit's only got 5,000 miles, but like the wall switches and stuff like that, there are going to be imperfections in every single used RV you buy. I may not see it, you may not see it right away, but there are imperfections. It may or may not have dings, dents, cracks, worn spots, you know, things like that. That's what used RVs means. That means it's been used. You got to look at what you're saving off of a new one. You're saving $50,000 and buying one with 5,000 miles over what it cost new. That $50,000 in savings comes with a price that everybody has to pay when they buy a used RV, whether it's from us, for sale by owner, or if it's from another dealership. That price you have to pay is that everything in this particular motorhome is 11 years old. The interior, the exterior, the furniture, the appliances, everything but the tires are 11 years old. Has 11 years worth of age, 11 years worth of use. Now, granted, it doesn't hardly have any use at all, but it's still 11 years old. So like I said, folks, expect imperfections. There's no such thing as a perfect used motorhome. If there was, it would be priced the same as a brand new 2017 model. That being said, I don't want to rub you the wrong way, but for those of you who always purchase new cars, new construction homes, new everything, buying a used RV may not be the right choice for you. Because like I said, there are imperfections. It's not perfect. And if you come in here expecting it to be perfect, well, folks, it's not going to happen. There's no such thing as a perfect used RV. No matter how much you spend on a used RV, it will always be a used RV. So if you've always bought new everything else, you may want to go ahead and spend $100,000, and I'm sure they're $120,000 plus now, but you may want to go ahead and spend $120,000, $130,000, go buy you a new 17 model. Now, for those of you who want to save money and understands what used means and what it entitles you to, we can help you out. Like I said, this is a used 11-year-old motorhome. Granted, it may be the nicest condition 11-year-old motorhome on the market today, but it's still 11 years old and it still may have imperfections on it. That being said, folks, If you come in here and, you know, what we do, don't come in here expecting to be new. What we do when we check one of these out, and here comes the rain. What we do when we check one of these RVs out is we make sure everything functions on it. So in other words, the first time you take this motorhome out, you're not going to have to worry about the slides not working, the jacks not working, because we check all that. You know, we check the awnings. We check the generators. We check the plumbing system, make sure there's no leaks. We check the furnace, both air conditioners, which I just turned off before I shot the video. They're both ice cold. We check the refrigerator on all its functions, make sure it gets to the proper temperature. We check the microwave, stovetop oven. We check the furniture. We make sure the sofa and the table make beds like they're supposed to. We make sure all the drawers and cabinets operate like they're supposed to. We do all of that, folks. And anything we find in our major systems check that our certified RV techs do is repaired or replaced before you pick the unit up or you have it delivered. But now, as far as cosmetics, folks, I can't do anything about it. That's part of buying a used motorhome. So don't, like I said, if it's got a little nick, scratch, ding, dent, that goes with it. Let's just say it gives it character. This unit I don't think has any because I could not find it on the outside, but like I said, you could probably go over this thing with a fine-tooth comb and a magnifying glass and you may find a little thing or two. That's just part of buying used. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go on back to the video tour. One thing, folks, and I want to warn you about this, about consignments. If you've got a motorhome you're trying to sell and you're considering putting it on consignment, I've had this happen to this customer that we bought this from, and from 3 or 4 others that we bought RVs from that had them on a consignment lot. They couldn't sell it, got tired of messing with it, so they picked it up and sold it to us instead of consigning it. Here's the thing, folks. These consignment lots, they have a mixture of their RVs and then the RVs that belong to other people that are there on consignment. And what happens when they sell one of their motorhomes and it needs a part, they're not going to call and order that part. And this has actually happened to several of my customers. What they're going to do is rob it off the other person's RV that's got it there on consignment. In this way, if they sell that unit to somebody, they'll reorder the part then and charge that to the customer that has it there on consignment. In other words, the person who motorhome they're trying to sell is paying for the part that they robbed off of their coach. Very common practice. So if you've got a motorhome on consignment, document every little thing before you take it to that dealer's lot, because what they're going to do, they're going to rob parts off of it, folks. It happens all the time. It's a common practice. That's why you want to be very wary about doing consignments. And by the way, folks, we buy RVs. We don't consign them. We buy from sale by owners, from dealers, from RV people from new dealers that don't sell used ones. We buy all their trade-ins. You know, we buy, and like I said, we buy from sale by owners. So if you've got a motorhome for sale and you want to sell it, you don't want to consign it, you want to get paid for it that day, call us. You know, we're one of the few dealers in the country that's been around long enough that has the capital to operate off their own money. In other words, we've got 170 used RVs out here, folks. We own every single one of them. There's no floor plans. We don't finance them. We don't owe on the building. We don't have a mortgage. We have titles to every single RV in office, and we own and pay for cash for everything we buy. And that makes a difference, folks, because guess what? These other dealers that have these big lots, they either have their units there on consignment or they have financed those units at their bank, or they call it floor planning, where they have to pay thousands of dollars worth of interest for every 30 or 45 days they have that unit in stock. And all they do is they pass that thousands of dollars right to the customer in the form of higher prices on their units. That's one reason why our prices are so much lower than everybody else, folks, because this thing can sit here for 5 years. It's not going to cost us a dime. But other dealers, you know, they have to pay that interest and floor plan cost. But anyway, folks, just a little warning: if you're thinking about doing a consignment, it's not everything it's cracked up to be. Because, you know, why wait 90 days, 120 days, 6 months for your money when you can come here and sell it to us direct and we'll pay you that day. But anyway, back to the tour. Side kitchen. And folks, 5,000 mile motorhome. This looks like a 5,000 mile motorhome. The original carpet, the upholstery, doesn't look like it's hardly been used. Countertops, double stainless sink, stovetop oven, microwave. I mean, I honestly, like I said, folks, you may look at it and think differently. But look at this. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Do those stove eyes to you look like they've ever been lit? I mean, usually when you light these stove eyes and you operate them for a few minutes, the metal discolors from the heat a little bit. So they're not as shiny as they are when they're new. There's no discoloration on those stove eyes. Microwave looks, I mean, why buy new? I mean, this is crazy. When you can buy a motorhome like this with 5,000 miles, why in the world would anybody want to go buy a new one? I don't understand it, folks. You got a walk-through bathroom. Here's all your, let me let my camera focus. This is all your tank level switches, your auxiliary cutoffs for your batteries, water heater switch, water pump. Plenty of pantry slide out trays in the pantry. Sliding pocket door for privacy if you want to cut the bedroom off from the rest of the RV and the bathroom. We'll start with the bedroom. Queen Island bed. Again, folks, I mean, I can't stress to you enough the condition of this motorhome. It is truly a 5,000 mile motorhome. Not been lived in. I mean, this motorhome, every corner, every nook and cranny you look, it looks like a 17 model. I mean, I'm not going to say it's like new because there's no such thing, but this is as close to like new condition as you will ever find in any 06 model. I can promise you that. And here's that other switch I was telling you about that has that little, which doesn't affect the functionality of it, but you know what? The dealership they had this at, they might have needed that panel. They had one in another RV, so they probably switched them out so they wouldn't have to order it, which, like I said, that's a common thing. I had to replace 2 parts on this motorhome that the dealer had robbed off this thing before I could list it online. So, like I said, that's a common practice. It happened to these folks, and it's happened to several other of my customers when they list something on consignment. Big closet right here. I mean, lighted closets. There's all your inspection stickers. Oh, that rain's starting to come down. I don't know how well you can hear it in the camera, but I'm out here in a pretty good bit away from the showroom, so I'm probably going to get a little wet here in a little bit. Private water closet. All the service has been done like it's supposed to on the roof. Toilet, medicine cabinet, sink. Folks, this unit's $49,900. That's a firm price. Haggle free, however you want to call it. That's an out the door price. You know, it's not $65,000 like it was last week. It's not $65,000 like other flares are online with 4 and 5 times the miles this one has. It's a 5,000 mile Fleetwood Flare for $49,900 out the door. No sales fees, no dock fees, no extra fees of any kind. Other dealers may advertise an RV for a certain price, but by the time you get in there and they start adding all these crazy fees like dock fees, prep fees, freight fees, processing fees, tag fees, title fees, they've added $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000 to the price. And all those fees are 100% dealer profit, 100% unnecessary to purchase a used or even a brand new motorhome, folks. You know, like I said, 49 years family owned and operated. We are one of the largest family owned and operated, independently owned used RV dealerships in the United States today. We've got over 170 used motorhomes, fifth wheels, and campers, all paid for. Titles in office, in stock, more than any other dealer within a 500-mile radius of us. And we get gems like this, folks. I'd like to say every day I would love to be able to find a lot full of 5,000-mile motorhomes for half price what it costs new, but that's not something that's easy to find. I do occasionally get these ultra-low mileage motorhomes in, but it may be months before I have another one. And the condition of this one is immaculate, because you look at a lot of these ultra-low mileage motorhomes, folks, they've been lived in. Everything's worn out, even though it doesn't have many miles on it. This one here is exactly the opposite. You can tell from looking at this is a true 5,000-mile motorhome that hasn't been lived in, because everything in this thing is as new as possible as you will find in an 11-year-old motorhome. Give us a call. This unit's going to sell quick. Like I said, this is a unit that the average buyer is not going to find at their local RV dealership. They're going to have to travel to buy this one, because there's probably not another one in sale in the country for this price with 5,000 miles, and includes a 90-day nationwide limited warranty too to boot. Let's not forget that. That right there is worth a couple $1,000s. Call us. Our phone numbers are 706-965-7929. Evenings and Sundays 423-605-6747. You can send us an email at sales@parkwayrvcenter.com. Now, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. We answer every email we get, but sometimes emails are not the most reliable way to contact us, because people will put the wrong email address in as a reply, or it may accidentally go to our spam folder. If you've got a long email address, or if you've got a company name in your email address, it may go to our spam folder and get automatically deleted. So, folks, if you send us an email and you don't hear from us that same day or the next day, pick up a phone and call us. Smartphones are great. They're great for emails, great for texting, but they've got this little known feature that people don't know about anymore, and that's a phone button. And you push that phone button, you dial the phone number, and you talk to a live person within a few seconds. That is the best way to get in touch with us, because we sell 500 to 600 used RVs a year. And if somebody sends me an email and it has the wrong email address written on it to reply to, and they did not include a phone number, which I can't stress to you folks enough, when you do email, send a phone number just in case this happens. I don't have time to sit there and try 20 million combinations of that email address to try to get one to go through. So keep that in mind. If you do send us an email, folks, please include a phone number so we can contact you if for some reason your email address will not go through. And keep in mind, if you do send us an email, we answer all of them, folks. So if for some reason you don't get a reply on the email, pick up a phone and call us, because chances are it got lost in the spam folder, had a bad email address and no phone number to call. We're not going to call you on an email if you include a phone number. We're going to email you back. The only time we would call you on an email is if you ask us to, or if with the email address you sent is invalid. Then we will call you. You can text us, you can email us, you can call us after hours, 423-605-6747. Our text number is 706-934-5677. That's a text-only number. You can text us. You said you can message us through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can like this video on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel and get notifications every time I post a video. No commission salespeople, no games, no gimmicks. 180 month up to 180 month financing is available with approved credit. We can get you a 60-month loan with interest rates as low as 4%, and get you the long-term loans for really not much more than that. Of course, it depends on your credit. All financings with approved credit only. Keep in mind, folks, when you finance an RV, the banks look at RVs the same way they would look at a Sea Ray boat, a cruiser boat, a houseboat, anything like that. They're going to look at it as a luxury item. So these are a little harder to finance than cars and trucks that people have to go to work or, you know, and a good buddy of mine who was in financing for years in RVs told me this. He said that financing an RV is closer to financing a home than an automobile. So keep that in mind. You can go to our website and send us a credit application, but make sure whatever you put on there, you can back up with proof. When you put your income on there, make sure that's what's on your tax returns, because the banks will require proof of income for every RV loan. Make sure you include all the information you can. Make sure you tell us how much you want to pay down and which unit you're looking at, because like I said, banks look at these things completely different than cars and trucks. They look at them more like a vacation home or a houseboat or something like that. So, you know, we'll do our best to get you approved for financing. You know, best thing to do if you send us a credit app is call us, let us know you sent it, and let the salesperson get the information, like what you're looking at, you know, what kind of budget are you looking at, things like that, and we'll do our best to work you in affordable payment and financing for this RV. We make no money on financing, unlike other RV dealerships that mark interest rates up over what they get you approved for, making you overpay by thousands on financing. You don't have to worry about that here, folks. That's why we've been here 49 years. Simple, stress-free, lowest prices on the internet, no commission salespeople, no interest rate markup on financing, and remember, folks, we can help you arrange nationwide delivery too. We've sold to buyers from all 50 states, including multiple sales from buyers from Hawaii and Alaska. We've sent numerous RVs overseas to England, Italy, Australia, the Netherlands, and other countries, and sent a couple of thousand RVs all over Canada, coast to coast. And the number one reason everybody came all that distance, went thousands of miles to come to us to buy, is for one reason alone: it's our low prices. No fees, out the door, haggle-free prices. Thank you for watching my video. Look forward to seeing you here in beautiful